Well, a lot of this depends on Rwanda's own policies in spreading the rewards of development to all in its community. But from what I can see, this is very much central to government policy, to pay attention to those at the lower end of the income scale. Our agreement does provide for duty-free and quota-free access of products from Rwanda into the European Union. Now, Rwanda is not exporting a lot at the moment, but I believe that creates a huge amount of potential. Since this is largely an agrarian society, those who produce coffee, tea, and hopefully other horticultural products, even in villages, will stand to benefit. Of course, it will need a lot to get a product out of the ground into shape to be exported to Europe. And this is one aspect of this agreement where we are very happy to help. We will help in improving trade capacity, the trade capacity of this country in all the issues related to conformity with standards. And this trade agreement isn't only about just setting the rules for the game of trade, it is about assisting the development process to allow trade to flourish. And I believe that this will benefit everyone in this country.
So unfortunately, there have been a lot of Ebola fears that we've been hearing about. You know, it has actually particularly affected tourism, the tourism sector in the East African community, especially where we see most companies losing lots of clients because of fears that, you know, there's Ebola in East Africa, in Africa in general, even though there are no cases of Ebola that have been reported in East Africa in particular. So how do you feel that this is going to affect trade, especially with the East African community and the European Union? How are you going to ensure that this will not interrupt trade?
Ebola-noia is what I call it, the fear of Ebola. Ebola is a terrible scourge at the moment, but I think many of us have become passionately persuaded by the terror of it. And I think we have to look at the facts and see which are the countries in which Ebola is occurring. The European Union and the international community in general has done a lot to try and arrest the spread of Ebola. I know that here in Rwanda, and I've talked to various ministers about the measures taken to prevent any import of any unfortunate case of a passenger with Ebola, and the measures here are tremendous. They're very tight. I don't think it's affected trade. It's certainly affected tourism. Hotel numbers are down, and those possibly attending conferences are down. You recently had the Rwanda Tour de Rwanda, which I believe there were less than the fully expected number of cyclists attending that. But I would hope by this time next year that all that has passed, like it did with other bouts of epidemics, and that we will get back to business as normal. But I've been very impressed with the measures taken here in Rwanda to prevent Ebola. And it is up to people like ourselves, the European Union and others, to make sure that our countries and our capitals are aware there is no Ebola here.
So when would you say we're going to start seeing the benefits of this agreement? How soon do you think we'll be able to see them?
Yesterday already. It was signed on the 16th of October. It has to be ratified by all the 5 countries of the East African community, the 5 member states. I hope that will happen very soon. This has been a negotiation that has taken several years, 4 years. I think the negotiations began in 2010. So I believe we should now get quickly on to ratification and then putting into force the agreement. And things don't change straight away. And remember, Rwanda has already had a very favorable access to European Union markets. It's only Kenya, with its slightly different income status, that stood to lose straight away. Luckily, we now have our agreement, our EPA. The benefits, I believe, associated with the right sorts of measures, both from the government and from our side to assist in building capacity in exports, should be felt within the coming years.
So lastly, well, as we finish, what would you say is going to be the future of this partnership?
Good. It has been good. We have had a partnership with Rwanda since the 1980s. We are a solid and permanent partner and friend of Rwanda through its ups and its downs, and we will continue to be so. I see huge promise in all areas, economics in particular. All the right sorts of policies are being put in place here to attract investment, and I think that's one of our key challenges, is to rise to the invitation by the government of Rwanda to bring in investors. Of course, it's up to the government to show why investors should come here, but that's what they're working on, and our job is to bring our business people here. And that will only serve to improve the economic situation in this country and to continue with the spread of prosperity that has already begun.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.